shifting to award favorites, we shift and transition to the Rookie of the Year favorite in LaMelo Ball. And this is breaking news. LaMelo Ball suffered a fractured wrist and is expected to miss the remainder of the season for the Charlotte Hornets. This is just devastating news for NBA fans, for the Charlotte Hornets organization, and for the league, because this is a guy who really was the front runner to win the Rookie of the Year award. 16 points per game, 6 rebounds, 6 assists. The 6 assists leads the Charlotte Hornets. This was a guy who started his career coming off the bench and was so good immediately that he had to be inserted into the starting lineup. This is how dominant this guy was in the month of February. To put things into perspective, in the month of February, he was averaging 20 points per game. And for the entire season, he was averaging about 16 points per game, shooting it at about 45% from the floor, 37.5% from three. In February, those numbers ticked up to 20 points per game. The field goal percentage started to improve. And in March, averaging a little bit less, 18.5 points per game. But check this out, 48% from the floor, 46.5% from the three-point line on over 5 attempts per game. So the storyline coming into this season was, well, LaMelo Ball can't shoot. Well, yeah, he can. It's not an orthodox shot. It doesn't look pretty when it comes through his hands, but the reality is he's making it. He's making these shots time in and time out, and he's just the biggest attraction. This is no offense to Kemba Walker. I love Kemba Walker. Cardiac Kemba, one of the most iconic sports shots for UConn in the Big East tournament at Madison Square Garden. But I would argue in the history of the Charlotte Hornets, and even when they were the Charlotte Bobcats, LaMelo Ball has been the most scintillating basketball player that the Hornets, Bobcats, whoever you want to call them, have ever had, especially since Michael Jordan became the majority owner in 2010. No disrespect to Kemba, no disrespect to Larry Johnson or to Muggsy Bogues, all right, or to Glenn Rice. No disrespect to those guys, but LaMelo Ball has got this flair, has this panache and this pizzazz to his basketball play that's just unparalleled, especially for this franchise that has been salivating for a marquee attraction. Terry Rozier wasn't it. Kemba Walker was great, but even he isn't quite this. You're not quite as enthralled to watch him play as you are LaMelo Ball. With that frame, with the size, with the unpredictability of his style of play, he's just so fun to watch. And this is why I love the NBA. And what distinguishes the NBA from so many other major leagues is they promote their young basketball players perhaps better than any other league. We see them push their younger talent to the forefront, whether it's the All-Star game, whether it's the play-in tournament, whether it's nationally televised games. The Charlotte Hornets, coming into this season, only had one nationally televised game. And when the NBA created the second half of the season, they gave the Charlotte Hornets 2 nationally televised games. Now, I know what you're saying. Well, that's only 3 nationally televised games. But if you're upping your nationally televised games by 200% because of one player, that says a lot about that particular individual. Again, this is a Charlotte Hornets team that is 8th in the Eastern Conference, 20-21. This is a legitimate playoff team with LaMelo Ball being the catalyst behind this push, behind this resurgence, and with the complement of Gordon Hayward and Terry Rozier and Bismack Biyombo and Malik Monk is starting to play a little bit better. This team was starting to come together really nicely. Were they going to be a legitimate threat? No. But are you trying to tell me you wouldn't want to watch LaMelo Ball in a play-in game or play-in tournament or the postseason? If you're the NBA, I think the ratings would skyrocket, and it's beautiful for a small market team like Charlotte. Because this is why we need individuals like LaMelo Ball. This is why we need some of these marquee guys to play for these smaller markets, because it just continues to inspire these communities and draw in more fans, from all over to be watching and rooting on their teams. That's what the NBA wants. That's what the NBA needs. And in a season unlike any other, truncated off season, no opportunity for a preseason, you're throwing these kids into the fire. LaMelo Ball has been putting out these fires with water. He's been absolutely sensational. And right when the team drafted him, right when Michael Jordan drafted him with the 3rd overall pick, he came in and provided this confidence. He imbued his team with this swagger and bravado that was missing, that they were deprived of. The amount of confidence that this kid plays with has permeated this locker room and has made them believe. And when you've got a rookie who's able to motivate and inspire the rest of the team on day one like that, the way that he has, it's nothing short of sensational. And I have to give credit to LeVar Ball. He predicted it. He called it. He said that LaMelo Ball was going to be the best of the 3 brothers. I had a hard time believing it. Obviously, LiAngelo, I never truly thought would take that step. But Lonzo Ball, everyone raved about Lonzo Ball in college. No one more than me. You can see his jersey is behind me, although it's slightly coming down. But coming out of college, everyone raved about Lonzo's ability to facilitate and distribute the basketball. And the storylines were different because when Lonzo entered the league, he was shooting great from 3, 41% three-point shooter at UCLA. And when he got to the Lakers, when he was drafted, all of a sudden he can't shoot anymore. And so, unlike that, LaMelo's kind of been the exact antithesis of Lonzo, which is prior to his arrival in the NBA, everyone said he couldn't shoot. And now he's shooting it for the last month over 46% from the three-point line. He honestly distributes the ball just as good, if not a little bit less than Lonzo, but he rebounds just as effectively. And he's a much more versatile and skilled offensive scorer, an offensive player. And outside of the James Harden trade, outside of LeBron James's quest for a 5th MVP, the biggest storyline in the NBA is LaMelo Ball. You are wanting to watch LaMelo Ball. I would argue it's a top 3 storyline and a top 3 attraction in the NBA today prior to his injury. And this is the type of devastating blow that not only the Charlotte Hornets fans have just suffered, but I would argue the entire league, the entire NBA, because he's such a scintillating, such a bright, young, ascending star, the type of player that can unite a struggling franchise or a city that is desperate for a star. And he's been that guy. He's been absolutely sensational. And anytime you can rally around a small market team, the NBA loves that. And obviously the franchises love that as well. That's what keeps them around. So speedy recovery to LaMelo Ball. It's a shame that he's gone down like this. I was a true fan. I know a lot of people were. And it's a major blow to the NBA and especially to the Charlotte Hornets, who are trying to hold on to that 8th and final playoff spot.